Welcome to the Accomplished Brain Podcast, where we share our passion, knowledge, and experience about the brain and health.
One of the things I wanted to show this, during our podcast is, my brain exercise software. So there are, if you look up, I'm going to share my screen here. So if you look up rotational chair, or if you look up a company called GyroStim, GYROSTIM, it's an incredible device that does automated vestibular therapy. The device is incredible. So I'm going to give just some things that I see. I think if everybody could afford this treatment, it would be incredible. The challenge, and I say this, is the challenge of this is that the device is usually cost the practitioner about $250,000. I think there's about 25. Don't quote me at that number, but there's maybe more out there. But because the cost and the size of the machine, not every practice has it. So now what happens is, because the cost, it's very rightfully so. It's an amazing therapy, but at the same time that it does cost. So people that can cost, they can do this, and they know of a place. This is great therapy. So this is not against anything, because this therapy is great. And what my mind thought about was, how can we get a therapy like this out to almost everybody? And the way to do that is, one of my software has 6 brain programs. Breathing program. Our second program is a virtual reality vestibular program. So we took the aspects of rotational chair vestibular automated therapy, like a GyroStim, and we developed our own version through virtual reality. So because we've been able to do that, we've been able to simply put this on people's phones, and then have a very simple $30 VR headset that they could use from Amazon. We recommend the VR headset from Amazon, and they could do very targeted vestibular therapy. And we're going to show you how. So again, we have 6 programs. We have a breathing program, virtual reality vestibular, which we're going to show you, called Activator. We have virtual reality eye movement program. There's 6 parts. We have visual motor imagery, so pictures different body parts for chronic pain, dyslexia, phantom pain. We have a sound program that also helps the balance, okay, because we're going to show you that as well, and a 2DI program with 7 parts. So I'm going to share with you this program called Activator. Very special program. It's a virtual reality, a rotational chair therapy that mimics rotational chair automated vestibular. Again, those machines are incredible, and if people get a chance to use those, they definitely can. What ours is we replicated in virtual reality, so we can get more people at all economic backgrounds. And the limitation is there's only X amount. So even if you're an athlete and you could afford to do it, it might not be in the city that you're in. So with ours, we could control the settings, put it on the phone, and you could do it all the time. So you could see here, it's a person sitting in a chair. Now we have a basic background that we can control the colors of the background. So we can make it either very light, dark, or specific color. And then here we have the target color. So the target we have is just a dot that we use, and then we have different colors that we can make the dot, different sizes, okay? And then here, in addition to a basic background that we can control the colors of the background, we could actually make a specific background like the beach, okay? Or we can make a golf. So I have a park, and the reason why we do this is because in the brain, Okay, anytime you give the brain a reward, something it likes, whether it's food, a scenery, a picture, the brain is going to ramp up its ability to activate dopamine. And that dopamine is going in the brainstem, in the upper brainstem. Dopamine is going to stimulate the brain, the cortex, the limbic system of the cortex. So the cortex, then the limbic system, and the sublayer of the brain called the basal ganglia, which the basal ganglia has an influence on the eye movement, the eyes, the way the eyes move, the cognition of the brain, uh, the emotions of the brain, and the movements of the muscles. The movement that has an influence on all those pathways. Okay, so just say we put a beach, then we have access to combine movements together, or we can have movements that are going on simultaneously. So the movements that are going on simultaneously, we have 18 different directions that we can move. So we talked about the ear canals. We could actually stimulate these ear canals forward, back, right or left, tilt, right, tilt, left. Then we have all the translational, the otolithic pathways: up, down, forward is front, back. We have left, right translation, and we have even up the stairs and down the stairs. So because we're computer oriented, the system can actually, we simulated what it would be like going up and down the stairs, because people who have concussions, traumatic brain injuries, they commonly have issues a lot of times with going up and down the stairs. And once we could get them to a certain point, we could specifically rehab them and put them in those positions. Obviously, you could see each position. Some of them we can change the degrees of motion, like 180, 90, 360, 60. Each position we could have a different speed or the same speed, different reps. Some of the positions we can have going in one way and coming back, or just going that's one direction. And then we have the otoliths, and then we have combined motions to get the very, very specific, either left anterior, or I mean either the specific side, either left or right anterior canal, or left or right posterior canal. So we could get extremely targeted with what we want to stimulate, and it's a perception therapy. Basically, once we put these settings, we send it right over to the phone, and those specific settings stay on the phone, and they could do this all day long, wherever they are. And that's the beauty of our software. Again, if you have a chance to go to work with, I know there's a place, if places that have rotational therapy, so there's different rotational chairs. A popular one is the gyrostim, but there's different rotational chairs. If you have the means to do it, it's a great therapy. If you have the means, as far as traveling there, if you have the means to the financial means of what they cost, it's great. But a lot of times, you're only seeing those places a certain amount of times, and then you need follow-up care after that. And that's why we're talking to a lot of these practitioners, whether they have a rotational chair or not, because people need follow-up care. And our software can be controlled anywhere on our dashboard by the practitioner for their client, and we could put a very customized program right on their phone. So this program I've seen work with people with balance disorders, Parkinson's, strokes, traumatic brain injuries. I mean, I've seen this program is probably one of our most popular. We have them all on the phone, but we use this tremendously. And the reason being is because balance is so important to help somebody improve their health. Some people are coming in specifically for balance, but some people that are coming in for other things, we see their balance is off, and we need to correct that because it's such a big marker of overall brain health, having good balance. So we're using this all the time. So not only is it stimulating the balance system, but the vestibular system can project to other parts of the brainstem, and it could project to the brain itself. So we're using it from everything from cognition to memory. So we're using it in all sleep, in all sorts of facets. But for balance, it's unbelievable. And again, because we're functional, we might stimulate that part of the brain that might stimulate areas that can help sleep, that can help attention, focus, memory. So we're using it constantly all the time, and it's a huge marker for brain. This program is just absolutely incredible. So I just wanted to share that with you. Again, you're rotating. If you come back to here, you're rotating in that chair, in that environment. Like I have a client who has Parkinson. We are using it for his tremor, and actually, can I bring that video up, Jeff?
You can. I don't know if we're going to be able to advertise that, if that makes sense.
Okay, that's fine.
So
we'll wait. We'll wait until. Actually, it's good. The client I work with probably give us permission. So maybe next podcast when we come in, we'll share a video, and he's actually using Activator. You could see like him in like his right hand holding like a knife, and it's like this, and then he'll do the Activator. And what we did in Activator was, because we're trying to drive more dopamine, and he loves golf, we put him in the golf scenery, and specifically we were able to activate his right cerebellum, right? And because the tremor was on the right side, and what we were able to do is you could see the second video that it's like hardly any movement at all. So again, someone who's a Parkinson's tremor has been using this. So I mean, now we're using it also in addition to improve his balance. But I mean, we've seen this work in many different types of conditions and improve a lot of different types of functions. It's a unbelievable product. And again, I had an idea when I was developing the software that I thought rotational chair therapy was huge, and the vestibular system was huge. And again, I think that people could see those people are awesome. But those people who see those therapies at the same time, I thought that they're going to need something to follow that up. And that's where our software can help in that instance. And then the people who say they can't get there, whether they're an athlete and that place during their season isn't in their season, our software works because the practitioners like myself could be anywhere, right? And we can control the settings, and we put it right on their phone, very customized. And all they got to do is log in and press play. And then the third, so one is when you go, if you could go to rotational therapy, it is great. But then after you leave there to follow up, our software is excellent. That's one. Two, maybe you could afford it, but you just can't get to a center near you. You're an athlete, it's in your season, you can't get, and you need that kind of work. That's where ours come in, because we put it right on your phone. And the third, where it works great, is maybe you would love it, but you just couldn't afford to go out there, whether the time, you have the time, but you couldn't afford to pay whatever their prices are. For a fraction of the cost, we put that on your phone. So in 3 different instances, our software could work and have tremendous value with the with someone's balance. Now I want to show you, I want to go back and I want to show you what we call equalizer. And equalizer is also used for balance, because certain frequencies, we talked about those ear canals, the front horizontal, right, and the back ear canal, those semicircle canals, will sounds, because the 8th cranial nerve is called the vestibular cochlear nerve. Vestibular is head movements, head, neck, right, and eye movements, and the cochlear is sound. So it's the vestibular cochlear 8th cranial nerve. 100 hertz activates the front and the lateral canal, and the 500 hertz activates the back canal. Okay, The utricle, the translation left and head tilting, also gets activated with 100 hertz. And the saccule, up and down, forward and back, gets activated with 500 hertz. So we can activate, so some people that have a very sensitive part of the vestibular system that have a hard time and fatigue, which is not all the time, but sometimes it happens, we can use actually sound to activate that vestibular system. So again, this is all on our software. We put it on. And again, you see here, we could activate either both ear canals, or we can activate either left or right. So we can get very specific, the beats per minute, how fast the sound comes out, and the time, the sound, we get a pauses in between. We have 5 different combinations we could use. We could have sets, pauses. It's very, very customizable. So if you're a practitioner that's out there and you work with vestibular or balance, the Accomplished Brain software would be amazing for you. If you're a client and you want to improve your balance, Jeff and I would be great contacts. And as we're leasing the software to more practitioners, we'll have hopefully, more practitioners in your area. But obviously we do a lot of Zoom calls, so we could see anyone anywhere in the country or the world, and we can help. So we can help the client itself, working with them, or we can help the practitioner. Our goal is to get this out to more practitioners. So together, us and the practitioners, work I'm doing, Jeff's doing, we're helping clients, and then the work we're doing with the software and the courses, we're trying to get more practitioners. So together we can help more of you people, the clients that are out there. We want to improve your health. That's our mission.
Hey, Andrew, I think it's really important to note that virtual reality in the past 5 years has actually started to be used quite a bit in therapy.